Kathleen Godley. I'm from North Kingstown. I'm in medicine, and I'm all for a measured, thoughtful response to issues. So I thank you for the session, and I thank you for your approach. And I understand some of the frustration of the more progressive members of the audience, but there's only one party that's working to address climate change, that's working to try to get affordable health care in this country, and that's working for working people. My question is, one of the things that has poisoned our democracy is money. We've seen an egregious example of how money and power allowed Epstein to do unconscionable acts. And in politics, money is also working against a good democracy. The Citizens United ruling has affected a lot of our politics. I wonder if there's any movement in the House to pass legislation to treat a corporation as a corporation, and that corporate money cannot be viewed as an individual contribution in politics.
So the answer, one of the things that one of the first bills we passed when the Democrats took control of the House is H.R. 1, which would bring more transparency to dark money in politics, and we need to do more to get money out of politics. Let me say this. We have tried, Congress has tried, in different Congresses over the years, to try to rein in money in politics. And every time Congress has passed a law, enacted a law to limit the amount of influence that money has in politics, the Supreme Court strikes it down as unconstitutional. Going back to the Buckley versus Blair decision after Watergate, to the McCain-Feingold legislation, you saw recently the Citizens United decision, which was an outrageous Supreme Court decision, just further opened the floodgates to the influence of money in politics, and it just it made things worse, not better. And also the ruling that basically corporations are people, therefore they have the corporations have the right to spend unlimited amounts of money in politics. I'm convinced at this point that there's no law that we could pass in terms of a statute that would survive a Supreme Court challenge. What we need is a constitutional amendment to make sure that we rein in the influence that money has, and finally, once and for all, get it out of politics. I have co-sponsored and continue to co-sponsor legislation that would make it clear that Congress has the ability to regulate money in politics, and that way it survives any Supreme Court challenges that they further open up the floodgates to money in politics. So I'm continuing to fight. Again, that's one of those areas that is probably the best thing that we can do for our country. I would love to see, by the way, a public financing system of campaigns, and so we limit the amount of spending and money that can be raised. But I think it starts with the constitutional amendment, making it clear that Congress can regulate and get money out of politics.